Hello, and welcome to this part of the pond. This was a rough week for me. I couldn't really go to a movie. I was sick. Work was a little, not too much, but work kind of gets in the way of things sometimes. And, well, I guess I couldn't see a movie, but I just finished a show. Earlier this year, Netflix came out with a lot of good new things. One of them was The Witcher. Everyone was talking about The Witcher. And as much as everyone's praising that, I watched something else. And that something else took me off guard. And that was Netflix's Lost in Space. It came out with its new season. I haven't seen the show before, and I just decided, I want a show. I want something to follow. I want something to watch. So I went with Lost in Space. And it took me by surprise. It's a remake show, and it is not Lost in Space that we all know and love. But they studied the show and knew what made that show so well iconic. Basically the three most recognizable names of the original was Dr. Smith, Will Robinson, and the robot. And this show and Netflix took those characters that were so iconic and made them better. Oh my goodness, they made them better. I liked what they did with this show. They made it their own, and I thought it was better. It was just really good. The acting was really good, I thought. The writing was really good. And what amazed me was the robot. He was more practical effects. He was like, I would say 80% practical, 20% digital computer. But that was only when he war fights or goes into a fisticuff or something. Mostly, he's there. I could physically touch him. And his design is very different from the show. And it was really neat. The actor who plays the robot has been in a few movies, but you won't recognize his name or some of the characters he played. Which is kind of a bummer to me, because this guy, please, we need to know these actors that play in the suits. They are really good. They have to communicate to us only through nonverbal things, like the Chilean in The Mandalorian. We couldn't see him. All we had to really see him with was his voice and his movements. The robot was the same thing, but it was mostly through the movements and the limited voice he had. And yet they did good. That actor was believable. I could see the robot's emotions. And in the second season, you see him more. And that was really cool. And I really like this guy. I want to see him in more other stuff. And, dang it, he's really good. I like him. And the actress who plays Dr. Smith, I love her. And I loved what they did with the character. In the original was a man. This one, they went with a woman. And I didn't mind at all. Yeah, I thought it was really cool. The way how they made the character and redesigned everything about her. The character, Dr. Smith, for this new one, was good. I found out myself yelling at my TV, shut up. Whenever she started talking and I knew it was something going bad, I kept on yelling, shut up! Oh my goodness. This is what happens when you get a great actress, good writers, and getting them all together and doing a great performance. This may sound blasphemous, but these writers and this actress, I thought, rivaled Cersei of Game of Thrones in the beginning years, before the fallout. I think these two rival each other. Cersei's hunger for power, and her struggling to it but not knowing what to do. Dr. Smith, her theme is survival. That's all she is about. And she, oh my gosh, how she is as a character. Her story is, in season 1 is mystery. In season 2 you see more of her. And as much as you want to yell at the TV, which I did, I enjoyed hating her. She was a good actress. The writers were good with her. This was gold. And Will Robinson, they did good with him. Because Will Robinson in this show is OP. Everyone is after him and the robot. That's what it's all about. Him and the connection with the robot. Most of the time in the original show. And they did it here, but there was more sense. There was more of a power grab. Whoever controlled Will controlled the robot. Whoever had that robot, unscripted, unedited, and loving it. I'm messing up with my word talk, but it's basically get the robot through Will, you have power. The robot is a symbol of power in this show. And the fact that Will is that bridge, some people would either A, try to usurp the robot from Will, or B, try to manipulate the robot through Will. And that crux, which is a huge chunk of the original show, they did it here, and they did it eloquently. And that was good. I really liked it. And the rest of this Robinson's family is second fiddle. In the original show, they did their best, but let's face it, we remember the show through those three characters. Will, the robot, and Dr. Smith. And in this new show, they tried to make the family a little bit more dynamic. Will Smith, the father, Smith, of the Robinson family, he is actually a former naval SEAL, and he and the wife Robinson had a separation, almost like a divorce, and the oldest daughter isn't his, but the rest of the children are, and there's this gap between them, and there's this trying to struggle and connect again in the first season. Second season, they are together. But there's still struggles in the family. But these are real struggles. The second daughter, Penny, as much as I love Smith and Will and the robot, I connected a lot with Penny as a character. I felt they did her well. Every middle child in a family would connect to her, boy or girl. Because she had that, not the middle child syndrome, but the more the lines of what a middle child can deal with. There's a sense of some middle children feel ignored, or one parent may say one thing and one say another. It's not just divorce families, but sometimes in a healthy nuclear family, the middle child will have this moment of one parent will say one thing, they go do that, the other parent will see them and say something else. Growing up, that happened to me a few times. Dad says do this, the Bullfrog does, and as he's doing it, the mom goes, hey Bullfrog, I want you to do this. And I'm like, where can I go? It happened way more than once. And they did that well here. It wasn't that she was middle child, but more the lines of the struggles of a middle child. They did that well with her. And again, middle children can connect a lot more with her. old. I wasn't an older sibling or an older sibling that had that seat of power like the first daughter has, so I really never connected with her in that way. And Will, he wasn't played as a younger child. He was played as more of this child that is actually, he's kind of like he is kind of technically the favorite child, but also not really. They're all loved, but Will, there's something special about him type of child. Will is really a good heart of the show, of the family, of the writers, of the show. It was all surrounded Will. Though other characters can have their other plots, everything always gravitates to Will. And yes, everyone had their own stories. It was really cool. The different worlds they went to was really awesome. But Lost in Space isn't like the show Lost in Space. It was just the Robinsons and them trying to find a way home. This one is the Robinsons struggling, finding a community, and then them and the community trying to get back to this planet, Alpha Centaurum. I won't give you too much detail because the show has a lot going for it. The first season is good. I really liked it. Second season, I thought was on the same level of good, and they did some things better. I don't want to spoil. But the ending of season 2, not the exact ending, but the last episodes, were gold, in my opinion. And, it gets spoiled, but I liked it. But the show is cliche. It has its cliches, and yet it holds them proud. And sometimes they do the cliche right. I can't help but go, you did good. As much as it annoyed me, you did good. And the show does a few politicking. It does. First season does it, second season does it. First season is almost symbolic, I would say. And it was annoying. I did rant at the TV, but I still love the show. It was good. I am not going to complain how good it was. There was that message of a politicking, and I'm like, okay, it wasn't as bad as Ryan Wilson, I think that's his name, or John Robinson, the guy who did The Last Jedi and Knives Out. The politicking wasn't as forced or as in your face as him. It still was there, and it was more subtly there in some parts of season 2. And in some spots, I'm going, okay, I get it. But it didn't feel as preachy. And I could tolerate it, and the whole story wasn't surrounding that politicking view. It was more the lines of, here's this. Okay, you do that. The robot's awesome. Okay, you did that. Dr. Smith. Yeah, you did that. Whoa! You did that? Oh, what are you going to do next? They did it well. There was a balance. They kept story and awesomeness, and here's this form of politicking. And they kind of kept it in balance. One didn't overpower the other, but it wasn't as loud. But it was still there. It was there. It was a good show. I really liked it. I'm doing this thing because I want, as much as everyone's praising over The Witcher series and watching that, and I will do a review on Netflix's Dracula. I want to, and I will. But here's the golden thing that Netflix's Lost in Space is. The production value, the acting, the writing, It is all good, and also there's nothing smutty about it. There's nothing wrong about it. I could watch this movie with my dad and my niece. I could watch this movie with my grandma and my cousin. It's a movie that everyone can watch. There's nothing that's gonna make you go, oh crap, I forgot about that. Sorry, Mom. Oh crap, I forgot about that. Sorry, Grandma. It is a good show. Look at the production. Look what they're doing. Oh my gosh, Grandma. Yeah. They didn't do that here. This is something anyone could watch. This is something that there was no harsh swearing. There was nothing smutty. A lot. Those of you out there who want something like Game of Thrones and The Witcher, but yet without all of that other stuff, Lost in Space is it. Production value, acting, writing, music, what those shows have, Lost in Space has, but it doesn't have all that stuff in it. All that and swearing. There's this illusion of a word, but yet we know the word, but we don't hear it. It's the illusion of the word for comedic effect, and they did it good. I felt, oh, thank you, Netflix. I want more shows like this. Something that is not just raunchy, something that is nothing but a swear fest, but it has a good story I can watch with anyone, and I feel like I can enjoy it with anyone. Lost in Space is good. People, yes! Yes! Oh my gosh. That was such a relief. And Lost in Space is really good. And on the scale of the Bullfrog reviews, which is 1 out of 7, I give this a good 5. It's a good 5. It's not a 6. Some of the cliches hurt the 5, and sometimes the politic, and as much as well balanced as it is, I don't want to see that much of it. But they did it well. I would liked it if it wasn't as pushed a bit in season 1. Season 2, there was more held back. It was still there, but it was more pulled back. And I liked it. Lost in Space. Netflix's Lost in Space. People, watch it. I hope you'll enjoy it. I hope you will be able to watch this and spread the word. It is a good show. Please. So, like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Welcome to the number 2, The Pond. Welcome to The Pond on YouTube. I would like to have some more of, well, people here. I want the Pond, to feel like, yeah, I'm doing these anyway. But it doesn't mean I would like to have a little bit more, some subscribers or watchers or viewers. But hey, this is the Bullfrog. This is the Bullfrog's Pond. And this is the Bullfrog signing out. Rah!